everybody, welcome back to Rainy Rocks Weekend Vlogs. We're here today at my house. Sadly, we're not at the campground this weekend because my parents wanted to go to this bus trip that goes to a winery of some kind, and that's what I'm going to be filming about. And they wanted to go, so we couldn't go to the campground this weekend. It's from Saturday morning from 6:30 a.m. till Saturday night till like 6:30 to 7 p.m. So my dad said, well, we might as well not go down to the campground because, you know what I mean, it takes up the whole weekend. So it's Friday afternoon. I thought I'd get the intro done now because, you know, I don't like doing intros at 6:30 a.m. I mean, come on, who does that? But anyway.
Even though it's evening.
Yeah. Anyway, it's time for the shout out. This weekend's shout out goes to Steven Zukowski. Thank you so much for subscribing, Steven Zukowski. I appreciate the support. But let's get right into it. Alright guys, it is 5 a.m. in the morning, and yes, we are here. This is my Halloween decorated porch. The lights aren't on right now, but because it's 5 a.m. in the morning. But we're getting ready to go to the winery, so it's gonna be a trip today. There's gonna be a winery, a emporium of some kind. I don't even know. We're gonna have lunch, I think. I'll tell you as the day go on, but I'll see you guys when we get to Catasauqua High School. So we're gonna drive to the high school. That's where we're getting the bus, and then the bus is gonna take us. I don't even know where the bus is taking us to. I mean, believe me, I'd rather be at the campground right now, but like I said, what are you gonna do, right? So I'll see you when we get to the high school. The bus is here, and it will be picking us up and taking us to the battlefield.
Oh, jeez. He's got this. Huh? Why? No, we want to shoot by the bathroom.
We're assigned. The following clip you're about to see is some footage of us traveling to the museum on the bus. The Gettysburg store, as you can see, the gift shop and stuff like that. So we've just arrived, and I don't know what's going on. I think we're gonna get a tour of the battlefield, but we're just at the gift shop and bathrooms right now because we got off the bus and we just came in this building, and it's just like a big open room. It's weird, but I'll check back in with you when I can. Bye.
And then, of course, looking to your right, notice the numerous monuments, markers, memorials. That's always a dead ringer for northern battle lines. Now, folks, I know many of you won't be able to really appreciate this, but if you look out in front of us and kind of off to your left and right, almost none of these buildings were here during the battle. Almost none of these trees were here. So it was a much more open hillside that provided a beautiful view, which we don't have today. Now here to your right, the little brick home at the edge of the parking area coming into view now, known as the Jenny Wade house. That house was here. And as fate would have it, the only civilian to be killed in our story met her doom at that home on the morning of the last day, July 3rd. Just to summarize this very quickly, folks, that house stuck out like a sore thumb on the side of this open hill in what a later war would describe as no man's land. The Confederates were at the edge of town at the bottom of the hill in front of us. The Yankees, of course, up the top of the hill where the memorials are today. And she was literally trapped in a very bad place. And so without getting into the entire story, that's the main reason she'll get herself killed. And again, amazingly, only one civilian fatality in what will prove to be the bloodiest battle ever fought in the Western Hemisphere, the Americas. Now again, everyone, we're going to pick up on the battle in a moment, but let me just highlight, we're about to enter the historic district of Gettysburg. In other words, this is where the town began at the time. Look to your right and left. I'm sure you'll notice that transition into some older buildings. As we come up the hill, we enter the historical district. Let me just back up and point out, we have over 200 buildings, about 220 roughly, that survived from the time of the battle. It includes most of the homes we're passing, not all of them, of course, but most of them. And as we get into the downtown area, of course, businesses, churches, the old courthouse, the railroad station, they still survive. Now, as we come up the hillside here into the heart of town, in a sense, let me point out the town was founded in 1780. That would date it right to the end of the American Revolutionary War. Several years later, it will be singled out as the county seat for newly created Adams County, Pennsylvania. Yes, named in honor of John Adams, the president at the time. That was in 1800. So once the community was singled out as the county seat, it took off. And that's when, frankly, most of these buildings would have been constructed. Notice there to your left on the corner, everyone, the ornate building. That's the courthouse that stood here at the time of the battle, right here. It was only 5 years old at the time, so we could argue it was a brand new courthouse. And then here again, you see the transition into more of a downtown business district. We're going to enter the circle here in a moment, dead ahead. This is officially called Lincoln Square. It is, in essence, the center of town. You can if you want. Now, folks, as we get into the circle, look over here to your right. The big red brick building on the corner, that's known as the David Wills House. It was there that President Lincoln spent the evening. He's coming to Gettysburg in order to participate in the dedication of the newly created National Cemetery. And as you all know, his contribution will be a brief speech that will go down in history as the Gettysburg Address. Again, folks, as we loop around, you can look down the various streets. You're all from Pennsylvania, of course. This is, well, I assume most of you are anyway. This is nothing terribly unusual, pretty typical for central PA, but, if you're not from this part of the world, it certainly has an older architecture to it that many people like to see. The town suffered relatively little damage during the battle, and even today, there's, very little evidence that you're sitting in the midst of one of the greatest battlefields in all of American history. By 1860, the town had 2,400 people living here. As we had mentioned a moment ago, it was a county seat town, but it was also a college town. Right before the war, the railroad came to town and enhanced Gettysburg into a major shipping and receiving point. And then, of course, folks, just to back up and again point this out, today it is definitely a tourist town. We do get annually between about 2-3 million visitors each year. And so I'm sure you've noticed the specialty shops and stores, boutiques, restaurants, eateries, taverns, hotels, motels, etc. But during the winter months, rapidly closing in, it is still pretty much a small farming community, a market town here in south central Pennsylvania. And then with the coming of better weather, it starts all over again. Now, folks, here we're going to leave what would have been the edge of town during the battle. So again, much of what you see scattered about in front of us and off to your right and left simply didn't exist. This was just rolling farmland. An occasional house or farm was out here. Off to your right, you may see some of the bigger buildings on the campus at Gettysburg College out there behind the trees. It was here during the battle, but much smaller than today. And then frankly, if there was anything that made the town famous before the battle, would immortalize the name Gettysburg, it's the old Lutheran Theological Seminary. Now that school will be coming into view up here in front of us off about, 10 o'clock roughly. It was established in 1826. It's one of the oldest Lutheran seminaries in America. It clearly reflects the German Lutherans that largely settled this area. And if you look over here, folks, again, about 10 o'clock, maybe even 9:30, it comes and goes quickly through the vegetation, but look for the building with the green dome on it. That was the main building at the time. Only 22 students were in attendance, so it was literally a one-building campus, and that was it. There were 2 homes that served the faculty. And as you can see today, folks, it's still a pretty small school, but it has grown since the days of the battle. History will also call this rise of ground Seminary Ridge, and we'll be describing that more as we continue. And as we crest over the ridge, everyone, this is it. We're on the battlefield. This is where it all began early in the morning of July 1. All right, everyone, look left, look right. Notice again the telltale memorials. This is always a dead ringer for Northern battle lines during the engagement. Now this is again where it all started. The Union battle line was on this ridge, effectively blocking this road, facing out to the west, just like you are. As fate would have it, most of Lee's army came to Gettysburg down this, the historic Chambersburg Pike. So we're right at the vortex of the first day's action. Notice monuments on this next ridge indicate Union soldiers occupied this ground. Now, folks, as we turn into the left here, I would like you all to look on down the road in front of us, and obviously it'll be off to your right side windows. But notice the tree line at the bottom of the ridge. Well, that's roughly 300 yards from here. I want you all to appreciate the average soldier on this battlefield was packing a .58 caliber rifle musket. And they were considered deadly accurate for about 300 yards. Yeah, you were great. Yeah, don't pull in there. Just roll along the road. Yeah. All right, now again, everyone, to go back to this thought for a moment. I come from up around Muncie, PA. I'm from Lycoming County. Where I come from, we wouldn't call this a bump in a field. It's just a field. But notice this bump styled McPherson's Ridge after the owner of that barn on your left. It does command largely open fields. And so the Union Army is going to have one great luxury at Gettysburg. They're going to be on the defensive.
We are up at the top of one of their towers. See down below. Out there's the battlefield.
Thank you. Oh.
I'll try to make more clips of the battlefield, so stay tuned. So, I don't know where we're going next, I forget. I'll pop up the schedule and circle what's next. I might do that, I don't know. But, sorry I'm not filming a lot, it's just really hard because, you know, the people, and I'm a little leery about that, but, you know. So, I'll have more footage and stuff, you know, just about my day today and what I'm doing. So, there's a winery, there's an emporium, and then I think, yeah, we eat lunch at like 1 o'clock. We go to like a gift shop. The emporium is like a thrift store or something like that. I don't know. I'll tell you on the bus if I can, or I'll pop up the schedule like I said. But I hope you're enjoying this, and see ya at the next place. Okay, so we have just left the battlefield, and the bus decided to come to here, a round barn. It's just basically, you know, fall stuff like gourds and stuff, and on the inside they sell stuff like apples, you know, fall stuff. I'll show you some clips of the inside of the round barn. I'm actually heading in there now, so I'll see you guys in there. Okay guys, we are inside the barn. They have all these cool farm tools around that you could use, that they use to farm, I guess. And then the store itself is over there, but see, look, there's the store through the mesh. But Yeah. All kinds of farming tools. What's this? Antique equipment. Oh, okay. It's cool. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the round barn. I've discovered there's an upstairs to the barn. Look, it goes around. It's so cool. Very cool. Okay, so we explored the round barn, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back on the bus, and we're gonna go to dinner, I believe, which is like 1:30 to 3, or 3 to 5. I know we start going home around 5 though, because it's a 2-hour ride back home. But yeah, the round barn was pretty cool, so. Well, I'm gonna cut and see you guys later. I will continue back when we are at our next destination, or might even film more on the bus again. See you later. So we just got done eating here at the restaurant, and now we're gonna go over there to the country store and check things out. So we'll check in on the bus. We have arrived at the winery. Let's see, can't really see much. I think they own all this field. It's pretty cool. Everybody else is inside tasting wine at the moment, and we will do the tour in just a second, so I'll see you guys there. Oh, and sorry I didn't film on the way here. I fell asleep, so that's why I didn't get a shot of the road, but like I did on the way out here. But anyway, see you when the tour starts. Bye. The following footage is clips from the winery. Oh, wow.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that things have been. Oh, ooh. Second thing, second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be.
Okay, we are now on our way home. It will be nighttime when we arrive home. Approximately 8 o'clock we will arrive home. And I will play some music for you, and here's some clips of the ride home. Enjoy. We're home. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I'm back home, as you can see. It's been a long day, 6:30 a.m. till like 8:30 p.m. It's been a long day. I'm very exhausted, so I'm gonna get some sleep. They did not do the wine tour. That was canceled for some reason. I didn't know. I was just happy to come home. I did not have fun today. I had a little fun. Not a lot though. It was pretty boring for me. And, you know, I just really miss the campground right now. Like I said in the intro, this is the very first time that I have missed a weekend at the campground this season. The very first weekend.